All right, sound check. I sound good.
Checkmate King 2. This is Whitework. Over.
Bravo, bravo. All right, folks. Sorry for the silly sound test, but this is Ron and Marcus coming to you from the Drone Nation channel now. Folks, let's just establish this right off. There's no live show for 12/27, 2021. We are big time stars on. We get paid holidays off, so we're taking the holiday off today. So this was never a live show, but we find that the best way to record any kind of show together is to still use StreamYards rather than any other service. Again, you don't have to say you missed the live show. There wasn't a live show, but we're going to throw this in the feed where the usual Drone Nation show is. So we got a couple topics. It's got to be a long show today. We got a couple topics. We're going to keep you updated on what's going on with these Autel drones. And, I'm going to throw you over to Marcus. He's going to catch up with, he had a little kind of, what would you call it? A boondoggle on your holiday plans here.
Yeah, it was kind of a mess. So at the very last minute, I started looking at the weather report, and there were some really severe winter storm warnings. And it would be one thing if it was just for a certain part of our trip, but it was for the every down the Columbia Gorge and on Interstate 5 and in Oregon and in Western Oregon and up in the Blues Mountains that we'd have to cross to get from here and Ladd Canyon and all that. So we kind of changed our plans. We probably could have done it, but Ron, it would have been a battle, and probably just the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. So
I know our good friend Joe Blaylock, which we got the pleasure of meeting at Spin Up this year. Uh, Joe lives about he either said 30 minutes or 30 miles from Astoria along the
right.
Columbia River Gorge, and Joe posted some beautiful winter wonderland, video. I just saw it this morning, so I don't know when he recorded it, but it sure didn't look like the type of weather I'd be wanting to ride a couple 100-mile trip in.
I here's the thing, Ron. I used to do that kind of stuff for a living, and I used to have to plan, and I used to have to send trucks over there and send drivers. And one of the things I said when I retired, if I don't have to drive in that stuff, I'm not gonna. So that's kind of what it came down to. But we had a wonderful Christmas. We went over to my wife's first husband's family. Sarah's first husband passed away. So, in fact, I consider his family kind of my family now, too. And we just had a great time. Sarah's in-laws they're in their 80s. And so, Ron, very well with your father, you just have to cherish those moments with that generation. So we did, and we had a great Christmas.
Good.
How about
Yeah,
you?
we were able to go to Susan's younger sister's house. Still has young children, and some of she's from a big family, and of course there was no get together last year with COVID.
Right.
So we got to see a lot of people. That we haven't seen together at least in quite a while, and you kids are growing up. So it wasn't quite the Julie them open all the little toys like before, but it was still a good time. And they had big enough house, and they had kind of an outdoor tent, so nobody was all in the same room at the same time. It wasn't like we all sat at some big table and all across, so we kind of could somewhat even socially distance in the same house. So yeah, it was good. It was like last Christmas kind of odd. It was like the first time ever, just Susan and I sitting in the house all day or whatever. But
Yeah.
anyhow,
Yeah.
and we hope everybody out there, all our regulars and all our friends in the community also had a good holiday, good safe holiday out there. We know our buddy Captain Ray got to visit his son in out there in Los Angeles, and he hadn't seen his son since this whole pandemic started. So that was good. Ray's been pop up a lot of videos. I'm going to get Ray. Ray's going Hollywood on us out there. He may, who knows, he may be striking a deal with a major studio out there.
He's had some nice sunset videos, hasn't he?
Yes.
I've been following his channel too, Ron.
And what, I brought Captain Ray up. I don't have a lot of information on this, but he just posted the DroneNation Facebook page. Shameless plug there, Marcus. Go over there and join. We got a special right now. You can join free for the holidays over there. But anyhow, Captain Ray he fired up his Mavic 3 today, and he said there was a new firmware update.
Oh, really? Well,
Now,
we'll
I
have
mean,
to
I
do
haven't
that.
confirmed that. I mean, he showed a little screenshot, and it looked like the one we currently have. But then Jake, what's Jake's last name?
Jake Sloan in Alaska.
No, Jake.
Jake
He's a
Fulis.
admin. He
Yeah.
he's one of the big posters in DroneNation. He said it wasn't the same one. So I don't really have solid information right now. I will start my Mavic 3 up later on. If I see any big firmware updates, anything new, I'll try to make a quick video or something.
Yeah, I've got some updating to do, Ron. I mean, I need to do that if that's true for the Mavic 3. And that Mavic Mini, the original Mavic Mini, I still have that in a box here. And I know there was an update on that recently too. So I
And
need to fire that thing.
I think on Heinrich, he did an update special on the Mini 2. He didn't know if the Mini 1 got the Expo settings update, but somebody in the comments reported that it did get the Expo update.
Yeah, so that's the other thing, Ron. I'm glad you brought that up. That's a great point. And really, virtually all of our DJI drones on the Fly app now, we need to go in and mess around with those EXP settings. And
Heinrich in the video, he did a great example
he did.
of how to change them and maybe what you want to change. Again, it's all personal taste. It's like your car. It's like getting your seat and your mirror adjusted. Nobody's is the same, but he kind of gave you a starting point on how to set them up.
Well, to your point, Ron, I keep hoping like somebody like Ed Ricker or Billy Kyle or something will post their settings and we can copy them and see if it works for us.
Actually, Original Dobo is the best for posting the settings or whatever.
Yeah.
I fly a lot of Original Dobo settings or whatever, or I use the settings and I slightly tune them to
no, that's my point. It gives you at least a base.
Camera, the gimbals and all that. So, but anyhow, so maybe there's a Mavic 3 update, maybe there's not, but just something to keep an eye for. But before we go on, we're talking about holidays, and we won't go on too long here, folks, but because we want to get to the Autel news. But Marcus, you got a little Christmas present that it may take you over to the dark side here, right?
Well, right over here, Ron. That is the DJI FPV drone. Yeah, so it's just the DJI FPV combo. I have not even taken it out of the box yet. Our weather is such that the thing is, I know if I take it out, Ron, I'm going to want to fly it. So I'm just kind of leaving it sit there till we get some decent weather and I can get it out and take it on a first flight. But I'm pretty anxious to try it. I've been watching Sean over at Air Photography. I watched his whole video on your first flight with it. I've been watching DJI's videos. I'm sure I'll take a look at some of Billy Kyle's videos as well. And I'm pretty confident I can get it in the air. I'm a little concerned about how the goggles will work for me. However, I did try out some DJI goggles when we were at Spin Up, and it seemed to be okay. So I have pretty good confidence that it's going to be fine, and I'm pretty excited about trying it out.
Yeah, I know I hear people talk about this, but I always kind of forget what they say. Can you take those goggles and somehow connect them to a computer and use one of those practice programs?
You can, yeah. In fact, DJI has their own program that you can take your controller and hook it up.
On the bad weather days, you can get at least used to the goggles inside, right?
Yeah, in fact, I think you could even use the goggles with it too. I'm trying to remember how all that hooks up.
It would be, it's nice if you could practice on, but it would be really nice to be able to use the goggles to get the idea of how to use them inside.
Yeah. In fact, I'm just looking right now.
And don't worry, somebody in the comments will say whether we can or we can't, Marcus.
Yeah. I've got it on my phone, but it looks to me like it has to update because it says it's loading. So
update next. But anyhow, so you're waiting on some weather now because I know as soon as you get that thing out, everybody's going to say, "Die the Snake River Canyon."
Well, let me tell you, our friend Sean, he at Air Photography already says, "Well, I can't wait to see you over the Snake River Canyon with it."
Already.
And normally, Ron, on a first flight with any significant drone, that's what I try and do.
Yeah, not this
one.
Sure
about this one that I might not be better off at Heroes Park with this guy.
Right. With a good spotter.
With a good spotter, yeah.
Yeah. I know I'll segue into the Ken Herron's Ocean City Boardwalk meetup that was held yesterday, Saturday, 12/26, 2021. Yeah, we had a good. The weather was good. We had a real. I mean, we had an incredible day. We were in the mid 50s and kind of normal light winds for that time of year. So, but I thought we'd have a better turnout. We had a better turnout last year when we were freezing than this year. But we just saw a group, Marcus. We had, those guys. Herman and Lawrence came down from New
Right.
York. Stevie Bronx came down from New York. Rob Carmada that we met at Spin Up. He was there for
Oh,
a
nice.
while. Billy Kyle, of course, came down with Steve. Steve's the guy that Rich Doe always talks about that got him going in the real estate business or photography business. So it was a good crew there. Some of the regulars that come every year, I don't have all their names written down, but it was a good group. But the point being is a lot of Stevie, Billy, I maybe it's Herman Lawrence. Anyhow, a lot of guys flew FPV there, but also a subset of those guys only flew FPV only with the DJI drone,
Oh,
FPV
really?
drone. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it,
As I know, it's not one of Ken Herron's favorite drones, but
no, he flew the hand belts. Of course, he brought the bicopter along too.
sure, the V copter. Yeah.
V-copter, yeah,
Yeah.
V-copter. But anyhow, enough on that. I got a lot of video that I just got to edit that I took with the GoPro, so I will get a video up soon. But I got to hack through a lot of GoPro footage.
Hey, I've got one more little bit of news here, Ron. I
Good.
just thought of it. So I don't know. I think we've all had people. If you've got a YouTube channel of any size, at some point somebody tries to co-op one of your videos and copy it, and
Yep.
usually they're on the other side of the world. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I had one that just made me laugh. So the language that it's in is in Portuguese. So I assume this is probably from Brazil, although I cannot say that for certain. But they copied one of my Xeno 2 videos where I'm flying on the Boise River,
Hmm.
and they said, and I had to use Google Translate to figure some of this out. But they're claiming that no, it's not the Xeno 2. They're flying the DJI Mini 2, and I even have my little telemetry down in the corner, and you can clearly see that it's the Hubsan app, the X Hubsan 2 app. But anyway, so what's even interesting? So he says that this is taken on the Holland Germany border, and he does this whole narration throughout the whole video. And of course, it's all in Portuguese, so I can't understand what he's saying. But yeah, I almost didn't want to file a copyright claim. I was just wanted to.
How many views did it have?
Yeah, not very many views, like 12 views so far, maybe more
Yeah,
now.
I don't know how these people, actually make any money off all this effort of stealing the videos or whatever.
And clearly, this guy put a lot of effort into it because it has a whole narration over the whole video. Of course, you don't see him taking off and you don't see him landing. But yeah, it's the beautiful Boise River. So anyway, here's what I did, Ron. I used Google Translate, and I in Portuguese, I left him a comment, and I said, "Wow, this looks a lot like Idaho in the USA." I said, "This terrain looks really familiar."
Yeah, let me
So
see if he gets back to you. That's funny.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I get.
I did, of course, file a copyright claim, but the way YouTube does it, there's two ways you can do that. You can file a copyright claim and say, "Hey, just take it down right now," and that person will get a copyright strike then. Or you can file a claim that says, "Hey, you've got 7 days to take this down, and if you don't take it down, YouTube will, and you'll get a." So that allows them an out, so that they don't get a copyright strike. I have to tell you, I thought this was so clever, and I enjoyed watching it. So so I did the 7-day thing.
You gave me out, yeah.
Give the guy an opportunity just to take it down. So we'll see.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh, cool. I mean, lots of times, the only time I ever get one is like when they take some music or whatever, and usually, or you just click the button where all you do is just lose the monetization. Whoever's playing
Yeah.
the music, they just get the money for it.
Yeah. Now, Ron, I'm glad you brought that up because that's a very different. That is a copyright claim, not a copyright strike. So
Right.
there's a big
Okay.
difference.
Yeah.
You can have a copyright claim filed against you, as you said, for a piece of audio or something that will not count against your channel, won't cause any problems with you. Just as you said, you just cannot monetize that video. The other person gets whatever revenue that video might get. In this case, when somebody copies your whole video, that is a copyright strike. And
Yeah.
anyway, it's much more serious. So, but in any
But
case,
enough inside baseball here.
yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, we kind of went down the rabbit hole there, but I just thought this was pretty clever.
It's kind of amusing, yeah, that somebody's
Yeah,
passing off Idaho as
yeah.
someplace in
As,
Europe.
as
Yeah,
Holland and Germany. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So anyhow, folks, we teased this at the beginning of the show. So Mark and I got eat a little crow tonight. We've been on Autel pretty bad on the last couple episodes about not shipping their late. Actually, what I found out now, they consider the Lite series of drones, like the Lite and the Lite Plus and the Nano Plus are part of the Lite series of drones. It's got kind of the latest sort of the handle for all 4 drones, but we've been on them about announcing way back at the end of September and not shipping and poor updates on when it's going to ship. So lo and behold, the other day out of nowhere, about probably just 4 or 5 days ago, lo and behold, the World Explorer, a YouTube channel out of Indonesia, Asia. I'm not exactly sure where he's located. He's located in a climate that changes because it's winter, obviously, in his videos. He's wearing
So that wouldn't be Indonesia. It makes me wonder if he isn't in China. I don't know, but
okay,
he speaks
possibly in
English
China.
pretty good, doesn't he? He's got a pretty good command of English.
He speaks very good English.
Yeah.
He's an English channel. All his videos are in English. And he's again, I'm not throwing the guy under the bus. He I've commented his videos. He comments back. He's very nice, personable person. He says during the pandemic he started with the drone thing and started his channel. So he's kind of like new. He's not like a real seasoned guy, whatever. But I mean, he seems to be a nice guy. So whatever I say here is not to throw him under the bus or discredit him at all. But anyhow, back to facts. So he pops out of no place. He pops up an unboxing of the Lite. I think it's the Lite Plus, and he does his unboxing, and then I think the next day he has a like a flight video with it at night. And it looks pretty good for a night flight, and the unboxing, everything seemed to be in order. But then like another day passes, whatever, and all of a sudden the Nano Plus arrives. So
Right.
okay, so and now I know our buddy Ross has sent me a video too in Chinese language unboxing of the Nano or whatever. But I'm just going to talk about English speaking videos here. But all of a sudden, the whole world is trying to get a hold of these Nanos and the Lites, and here the same person gets both of them before any other English speaking channel gets them. So I made a comment in this video, and I said to the fact I said you're a very lucky man to get both these drones. So earlier I said, do you have a connection with these companies, or are you just lucky? He said, oh, I have no connection. I just ordered them, and maybe just by coincidence, he's also one of the first people to have the Hubsan Zeno Mini Pro. Him and Mansoor got it within days of each other,
Right.
and they had it like a month before, say, it reached people's hands in the U.S. or whatever. So maybe he lives right by the factory or the distribution center. Again, I'm not saying that anything's wrong. I mean,
No. Yeah.
and I asked him, I asked, I said, where did you order from? He said the Autel Pallets, which were the same place Marcus ordered from. So I'm not trying to say anything's fishy here or whatever. I'm just trying to line things up that kind of strike me as being unusual. Now, he's done a couple more test flights, and a lot of them are in poor lighting. So I kind of haven't really seen anything and reached out and grabbed me. But one of the things I did see, Mark, is that I did not know before, the camera on the Lite Plus, and Rod Hansen confirmed this. It's the same camera that's on the Autel Evo 2 Pro.
Seriously?
I looked at it and it looked just like it, and Rod confirmed that. Yeah, I mean he holds it up close to the camera.
Wow, that's something else. That is amazing.
And
Wow.
if you watch his unboxing of the Lite, the battery in the battery is almost as big as the drone.
Well, what I was surprised by with that Lite is honestly how big of a drone it is. When he was holding it up, it's bigger than I thought. I'd love to see one side by side with like an Air 2S to kind of make that
Yeah,
comparison.
yeah,
Yeah, because that was our assumption is the Lite series was to compete with like the DJI Air series, and
yep,
it would be about the same size
yeah.
and so forth. I haven't looked at the weights either, Ron, so I
Yeah,
can't even
I
speak to
I
that.
haven't studied the numbers so far. So,
Yeah.
he did mention that he ordered from Autel Pots, and that's the same company that, well, you did a reorder, but you currently have an order through them. Can you update us on your status of your order from the Autel pilots?
Yeah, so we've been getting a series of emails for the last several days right before Christmas, and even I think on Christmas Day, promising that our drone was on the way. But they didn't have time to send us a
Tracking number.
tracking number. Thank you, Ron. I lost it there for a second. I'm old. I'm sorry. But lo and behold, today, Ron, I got not one but two separate emails from DHL. But both it's the same because they both have the same tracking number on there, waybill number. So it looks like it's on its way. And mine says
So you can kind of
estimated.
confirm it, at least it's been picked up from a warehouse or a factory. It's actually on a truck someplace, or
Yeah,
yeah.
and it has an
Okay.
estimated delivery date on the email. This email is from DHL of Monday, January 3rd. So, man, that'd be awesome. That would be a lot of fun to be able to have that drone by then. And
When's
you
our
know,
next show?
Monday, January 3rd.
So you may have the show on the next live Drone Nation. The Autel Nano may be sitting on set that night.
Es posible.
Maybe you'll be the first U.S. channel to have drone.
Well, who knows?
Yeah,
Yeah, but I'm sure I would guess that there'd be a bunch of them that get them on the same day. But
yeah.
regardless, it just sounds like fun to me. And I've never owned an Autel drone before, so it's kind of a big deal to me. And
And
hopefully,
we know the app's officially out there on the iOS store. I downloaded it within I'm going to say the past 5 days. People said it was out there for a while, then they pulled it off, but it's back now, so you could easily go out there and download it and kind of look around in it.
yeah, and like you, Ron, I'm interested in a detailed unboxing and flight video where you can, see a lot more detail of what we think the drone can do.
Yeah,
Now,
again, I'm not knocking World Explorer.
no, not at all.
If the weather's rainy and cloudy, he can't do anything about bad weather. He can't deliver like nice sunny weather. But and you said you want to see a detailed and full review. And the thing is, I want to see flight video, especially from several different channels. You
Right.
just see one guy, like I said, poor was, but he's got bad weather and he's flying a lot. Now, maybe there's a reason. Maybe he works during the day or whatever. I don't know. But I want to see a series of flights in daylight conditions, not like totally overcast or raining or snowing or in the middle of the night. I want to see daylight flights from several different people because everybody may have different settings or whatever. I mean, I try to keep them at auto on the first couple flights so people have an idea of what it looks like out of the box. I think you do the same thing, don't you, Mark?
I do exactly the same thing, Ron. So yeah, yeah, and so that's exactly right. you just want to see it, like I said, on several different channels, hopefully, and see what it is. Now, my expectation is of this drone. Well, let me back up a little bit. What I hope it's not is the kind of disappointment that we saw with the Xeno Mini Pro, where it just didn't work as advertised, and still doesn't work as advertised.
Even to this date, its home run feature, the obstacle avoidance, is still hit or miss. Is that fair?
It's hit or miss, and when the obstacle avoidance is on, it doesn't have the CPU power. It frame drops like crazy, so it affects the video horribly, and the video quality is not what it should be. I still get in both Xeno Mini Pros that I have, I get a lot of jello, and the video quality just isn't what it's just not the crisp video quality that you would hope it would be. The drone flies great, I will say that. They, I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole, but the point being, with regard to the Autel, it's got a lot of features in it that look really good. And not saying that it has to be perfect, not saying that at all, but hopefully it'll be a decent product and fly well for us and have good quality video. And it's encouraging what we've seen from World Explorer. So
I mean, it seems stable every time he's taken it up. It seemed to hover stable. It seemed to be performing well. But I have to be honest, Marcus, I'm only judging from one video, so this is a small sample size. This doesn't mean anything. But the video I've seen from it, it doesn't look any better than the Mini 2. And for me, if the video doesn't look any better than the Mini 2, like, no reason for me to buy it. The obstacle avoidance and things like that won't be enough if the videos no better than the Mini 2.
Yes. Yeah, exactly right, Ron. Listen, we'll just have to see what it looks like. I'm not going to.
Yeah, and I can't even judge. I can't even judge that people say, "Well, the night flight look real good." I've never taken a drone to a city like this guy did. Bright Lights, the city of flow drones. I have nothing compared to.
I couldn't compare that.
Maybe the Mini 2 would look horrible compared to that. Maybe it won't. I don't know. I've never tried that. I don't want to try that. I never will try that.
What? So. Hey, Ron, I just thought of something. What about Atlantic City? You're right there, pal. You're right there by Atlantic City.
I don't have my, what's the Part 107 when the supplemental thing to night fly?
Oh yeah, for night flying. Yeah.
Now, okay, and this always gets so confused. Everybody explains this differently. Okay, now if I went up there to fly, not non-professionally, whatever you call flying non-professionally, and I flew a night flight, what would my regulations be then?
The FAA wants you to call it a recreational pilot. That's what the FAA would like you. I've always said hobbyist. The FAA terminology is recreational.
So I could go up and fly that as a recreational pilot at night without having the extra certification,
and you would be perfectly legal.
But at that point, according to certain emails, I cannot post that video anywhere on social media, because then it would be in something of a business. What do they call that? Furtherance of a business. If I posted my YouTube channel, my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram, even though all those other accounts I don't make a dime from, somehow that would be the furtherance of a business, according to some reports. So, I mean, even if I did that, all I could do is you have to come over to my house to see the video on my.
That's exactly right.
My personal computer. Yeah. So, but if I did take the test to get the extra certification, which I plan on doing this winter anyways, when I'm kind of snowed and cold inside in the winter, but then I could go up and do the night flight and show it. But anyway, we're going down the rail. The Nano or the Lite, they may be the greatest nighttime drone of all time. I don't know, because I have nothing to compare about it personally in reference. And even if it is, I'm only interested in how it performs when the sun's up.
I don't fly at night anyway.
Yeah, right. So anyhow, great. I'm grateful for the work World Explorer is doing over there. And again, none of this is said about this is meant to be any deterrent to him, and just kind of some oddities about how he gets both of the drones before anybody else. Now, and I say anybody else on YouTube. There could be people that don't have YouTube channels, don't belong to any Facebook groups, aren't in social media. They may have them in their hands. They may be flying them like crazy. We just don't know. So I'm only referring to people that are, we'll say, on YouTube.
And let me add, Ron, I would love to see his channel grow. I mean, he seems like a really nice guy, and he's, he seems to be very upfront and honest about what he shows. And I don't. Last time I looked, I don't think he was quite at 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, get out there and subscribe to his channel.
This should get him up there since he's, again, he's the only one. I mean, and you wouldn't think a company would purposely seed somebody with a small channel with these drones first. So I just can't figure it out.
That, Ron, I'm totally with you, pal.
And it's not like I'm trying to say, he's being paid to do this, because it's not like he sits there and says, "Oh, this is the world's greatest drone." He doesn't. He basically just shows what it does. He doesn't really give a lot of his opinion. He's just showing what's happening, which is perfect. That's what you want to see.
Right.
Yeah, it's not like he's there calling this the greatest drone ever. He's just showing what it's doing.
Yeah.
So. Yep. So anyhow, hopefully we won't be about a week from now when you have it, we won't have to be speculating and whatever. When you fly it out over the Snake River Canyon on a blue sky day, we'll know for sure how it looks.
Yeah. So let's get back to that.
And we don't. What I said, we don't know this guy. He could be putting the world's worst memory card in these drones too.
Right.
And that could be. Video, but we know you're going to put a fast SanDisk card in there, so the memory card won't be the issue. When you do it, we'll know you can eliminate what could be bottlenecks.
Okay, let's talk about what we really are interested in the drone, what we want to work. Of course, obviously, the Nano. I want it to be a sub 249 gram drone, which is not so important to us in the U.S., but in Canada, Europe, it's a big deal. So we want to show that. I want to show good, clear, jello-free, stabilized video. In other words, I don't want to take it out over the canyon and see a bunch of waves through the video, see a bunch of shakes. We want it to be nice, crisp, clear video, decent resolution. I don't want to see any frame dropping. I want it to be the timing to be perfect on it. And then we want the controls to be reasonable, nice and precise, and have a good control signal, a good FPV signal. You don't want to get it out 100 yards and lose FPV. You want to have a good, solid view, within reason. And for me, within reason is a kilometer or a kilometer and a half. I think is reasonable.
Yeah, let's say this. Whatever it says on the side of the box, and whatever it says the range says on the side of the box, that's in the perfect most conditions. You can basically cut if you can cut that in half and have a great signal for half of what it says on the side of the box, then you're in good shape.
Yeah, and then with regard to the other automated features and stuff, I consider that kind of stuff icing on the cake, and hopefully that all works perfectly right out of the box. But if it takes a couple of firmware updates to get all that stuff to work perfectly, I'm okay with that. I am. I'm more interested in how the drone flies, the video quality, and the control signal.
Yeah, and we're all kind of anxious a lot of people are picky about their controller, so we'll see how the controller feels in the hand, what the weight of it is, where the buttons are placed. That's all a big deal to a lot of people.
Ron, you just brought something up that is interesting on the controller.
Let me also say, this is a brand new controller. Nobody's ever handled this controller before.
What is the one big feature on this controller, Ron, that is not on any other controller that I know of, other than a smart controller?
It has a built-in LCD?
No, it's got a microphone in it. You can record audio. With that controller. And now the issue would be, hey, if you're out in windy conditions or something, you're going to hear a bunch of wind noise. But it'd be kind of fun to see what kind of audio. Obviously, I narrate my videos, and I know you do many of yours as well. Right. So that could be a feature that would be kind of handy for us.
Now, let me, when we do screen recordings, of course, we're using the third-party device to do that screen recording, our phones or tablets or so on. Okay, but this device, of course, doesn't have it's not like a smart controller, doesn't have any built-in thing. So okay, you're doing a screen recording on your phone, but you're recording the audio to the memory card over the track, over the real
Ron, I
track.
don't know yet. Honestly, I
No,
can't
no, in
answer
other
that.
words, maybe you may in some cases you may not need a screen recording, but you still want to narrate. So maybe you could pop out a video of the Snake River Canyon flight, and it's not a screen recording, but you have live narrated all without using a third party
Yeah,
device.
yeah. So is it a separate audio file, or does it integrate it with the video file that you're recording on
And
the
what would
drone?
be nice if it was both of those cases.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to that'll be fun to find out.
Like a GoPro, you know how the GoPro records a separate the audio is baked into the video, but also you can just pull the audio track off the
Right.
memory card also. So that would probably be the best scenario. So yeah. Yeah, so that's some of the the expectations that we have of this drone, because the drone is priced. The Nano is priced between the Mini 2 and the Air 2S, and of course the Lite and Lite Plus are priced above the Air 2S, and the Plus versions of both drones have much better cameras than we've seen on these before. Like I mentioned earlier, it appears the Lite Plus has the same camera that the Autel Evo 2 Pro does,
That is
and
fantastic.
the Nano Plus has a bigger camera than has been on any small drone
Well, I believe
before.
now. I'd have to go back and look at the specs to say for certain, but I believe it is the
Same
same
ballpark as
size.
the Hubsan Mini Pro.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
same size sensors on the Hubsan Mini Pro. So
yeah.
as we know, the bigger the
Which has
sensor.
been a big disappointment to you, though.
Yeah, well, it has. Yeah, the Xeno Mini Pro has been. Yeah, I
As far
can't.
as the camera quality,
Yeah,
yeah,
the video
yeah.
quality is not what I'd hoped it would be, and that was one of the big selling points of the drone. So,
And at
but
this point, we don't know if that's the hardware of the camera, the lens, the hardware parts, or is that because they haven't got the camera software
on the Xeno
configured
Mini
right?
Pro, yeah, I
Yeah,
don't. I just
we
have
don't
no
know. We
clue,
may never know.
and may never know. Here's what I will say: I would think that enough time has gone by with that Xeno Mini Pro that if it were something that they could have corrected with a firmware update, I suspect they would have done it by now. Uh,
Yeah,
but
that
I
that
don't
that
know.
that drone reached you what in late July or so August?
Yeah, I think it was late, but right around there, Ron. I could go back and look at my files to find out,
So
but
so you're you're a good 4 to 5 months in already on that, and it
yeah,
took them the Zeno one. It took them the Zeno one. It took them almost like what 5 6 months to get that perfected.
yeah, 2 or 3 months. That thing was looking pretty good. But to your
But
point,
I remember that final update that really fixed it didn't come until like I'm going to say May of the year after it came out when they
yeah, but there
finally
were there
fixed
were some
everything.
drastic improvements in between.
Yeah.
But to your point, one of the tests that I want to do, I want to take the the original Xeno out and take the Xeno Mini Pro, fly the same path with both of them, and compare the video. And I'm still telling you, I'll bet 9 out of 10 people would pick the original Xeno video quality over the Xeno Mini Pro, and that's just insane. Now, let me step back 1 minute there. It's not that Hubsan doesn't know how to make decent video, because the Xeno 2 Plus, uh, I'll tell you, I thought the video was quite good on that. It had a little bit of lens flare, a little more lens flare than you would
The
like.
overexposure issue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but other than that, I thought the video was quite good on that thing, and the gimbal was good. The original Xeno 2, we saw shakes in the video, micro shakes, and we saw that really had horrible lens flare. The Xeno 2 Plus, they seem to have figured that out. The gimbal was really good on it. I thought that one was good. So it is a little bit of a mystery why they can't figure this
Yeah, I
drone
guess they
out.
just
I'm
could
not sure.
miniaturize the stuff, and that's what you worry about with the Autel drones. Even though the Evo 2 Pro is solid, but can Autel miniaturize that technology into
Yeah.
smaller drones?
I'm going to step back 1 second here. So if anybody wants to buy is looking, and they really are just focused on buying a Hubsan drone right now, and they want the best one, I'm going to still say the best Hubsan drone that you can buy today is probably the Hubsan Xeno 2 Plus.
And you don't have to look it up, but you have a ballpark of what that sells for today.
I think around $450, something like that.
So about the same price it would cost you to get a what the
Yeah, the Xeno Mini
well
Pro.
less than the Xeno Mini Pro.
Yeah, yeah, and the Xeno 2 Plus is a big, powerful drone too. I mean, it's a folding drone. When I say big, it's we're used to
Mavic
calling
2 size.
right, right,
Yeah.
and but it is a powerful, great flying product. I absolutely can endorse that one.
Right, right. That's what we had high hopes for the Xeno Mini Pro coming off that success, and
Right.
they couldn't build a success miniaturizing the stuff. I mean, you've had better luck with your Hubsan Mini SE.
Yeah, and even it is not. If you look at the video quality on that, if you compare it to the equivalent DJI Mini, I don't think the video is as good. Although the drone flies great. I mean, I got no complaints about the drone itself, and the controls are that, but the video is not quite up to that quality. Now they're coming out with that Ace series of drones, which is a little bit bigger drone. So we'll see how they do with that. And then there's all the rumors at Hubsan with that
Night King.
Night Ranger or Night King,
Night King.
or Night King, with a micro four thirds sensor. I hope for Hubsan's and everybody's situation that turns out to be a great product.
Mavic 3 killer.
Well, I don't know about a Mavic 3 killer, but something that's reasonable. I'll tell you this: I wouldn't even consider purchasing it until I see some tests and video online. Anyway,
Right.
just
Yeah.
my opinion.
Hey, this is off target here, but I was on eBay for a while today, and I saw they were selling Mini 2 batteries. Well, actually, Mini 1 batteries, which fit the Mini 2. What do you call the battery, the Mini 1 that you don't have to discharge?
Oh, lithium ion, yeah.
They were selling them for like $29.99, and you could buy like 3 for $59.99. And I believe these were new. You could even get cheaper refurbs, but new $29.99 and a 3-pack for $59. So
This was on eBay.
it was on eBay. So if you need batteries, and again,
Yeah.
if the Mini 2, the Mini 1 batteries work fine. I mean, in fact, I have a Mini 1 batteries around just so it's always charged up or whatever.
Been ready to go. Now, what we need to tell people is lithium ion is not going to have quite the punch as a LiPo battery, but the upside is you can have it available and have them charged and ready to go.
Doesn't matter if you have all that punch and extra thing if the battery's dead when you want to fly.
Exactly. That's absolutely correct.
So that was kind of a deal alert there I had seen. But anyhow, I was going to go someplace else with the Evo series, but I already lost my train of thought going on that eBay battery thing there. But anyhow, I just thought we'd catch up a little bit with the what's going on with Autel since our last show. That the drone is now shipping, but so far only to people over either in China or close to China from the warehouse and the factories. But Marcus has his update now, and he's saying the 3rd. So I mean, today is the 27th. So we're talking about exactly a week from today.
Let me tell you, I've got fingers and toes crossed.
And I mean, again, if it is actually in the shipping company's hands, I mean, the kind of game. I mean, it's not saying the shipping company can deliver a day or two late, maybe get stuck in customs someplace. But I mean, the shipping company updates are a lot more reliable than the actual manufacturer's updates.
Yeah, I would. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyhow, so anybody looking forward to this drone, if you ordered early, I mean, Marcus, we say you ordered early, but you actually changed the orders kind of midstream, so you're maybe not on the first wave of Autel Pilot.
Buyers. So both Ross Langdon and I, when we were Ross actually sent me that link to the AliExpress, and they called it the official Autel store on AliExpress, and we both had ordered there. And the thing that was frustrating about that is they kept giving us updates. Oh no, it'll be available next week. Next week, they typical kept pushing that date
Yeah.
out. And then in the meantime, Autel pilots. And by the way, I should add that I just ordered the only thing that was available then was the base kit, the drone and one battery. And then, some months later, Autel pilots advertised they had a sale going on the Lite series of drones, including the Nano and Nano Plus. So what I determined is that I could buy the Nano Plus with their Fly More package. I can't remember what the premium package. I'm trying to remember what Autel calls it.
Yeah.
Where you get a couple extra batteries and a carrying case and all
Right. Right.
that for essentially the same price as I paid. And they were advertising the same shipping dates. So I thought, well, what have I got to lose? And so I canceled the AliExpress, as did Ross, and then we both ended up ordering from Autel pilots. So, and I think we both ended up saving some money and got a
Yeah.
better kit. So,
And World Explorer order from Autel Pilots too. So it seems, if you don't know where the order from, it seems like right now, anyways, Autel Pilots may be the place to go.
and I believe that they're both associated with Autel, the company, too. I don't know exactly whether they're just an agent for them or what, but there is some.
Yeah. What's that word? Like certified resellers or
possible, or they may even be part of the company. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know the details,
Yeah.
and we may never know. As I said before. Hey, another quick update here. I know we talked about the FPV X8 2022, and last time we talked about it, I went to I think it was same thing, back to AliExpress, whatever, and they were quoting ship dates or arrival dates near the end of December. But as far as I know, I haven't seen anybody on YouTube with the X8 2022. Have you seen any updates?
I haven't seen one in the wild yet, and
Yeah.
that thing has just got an upgraded camera, which is great. That's a drone that needs an upgraded camera. So that is all. I don't know anything more. I can tell you this: I did get an email from FEMI today. Funny you mentioned that, Ron, and they are asking me about the FEMI Palm 2 Pro cooperation plan, and they said that I can get a hold of them if I want, if I'm interested in the possibility of a review unit. So I don't know, but they're saying that it's available on AliExpress right now if you want to buy it.
What is the price?
$219.99.
And that's like that's a DJI Pocket Killer.
Well, it's the FEMI version of it. I'll tell you one thing it has that I thought was interesting, and you had a Palm at one time, Ron.
I had the first Palm.
Yeah, I don't know if it had it or not, but I can tell you this has a microphone port on it, so you can plug a mic directly into this FEMI Palm 2 Pro. And the other thing that they advertise, and I know this was a problem on the original Palm, is they're advertising that the switch gear is quiet and you won't hear it in the video. And I don't know.
Oh yeah, you could hear. Yep, you could hear.
Yeah, you can hear all the clicks and stuff when you.
Yeah.
And they're saying that they've solved that on this, which
they've done some updates. And I believe in the Pocket 2, you need to put the do it all handle in to get the microphone jack. Which the do it all handles an extra unless you get the creators kit. So if you bought the base kit, you would not have the ability to stick a mic in. You would need either the creators kit or the do it all handle, which is probably a pretty pricey.
I think if
Marcus went down that rat hole with the Pocket 1. By the time you bought all the accessories, you're up. You're pushing $1,000. You might as well have bought a good camera.
Yeah, the DJI Pocket 2, I would say, is you definitely want to get the creators combo with that. This FEMI Palm, it's typical of a lot of FEMI products. I think it's just kind of a discounted version of that kind of camera. And as I recall, the Palm took pretty good video. So
Yeah, I mean, it took decent video. Again, I mean, the best way to say it is if you're happy with the video you're getting from your FIMI X8, you'll be happy with the video you're getting from the Palm.
Yeah.
If you don't think the X8 video is good enough for you, you probably won't think the Palm video is good enough for you.
Yeah, I wasn't really. You know what? I was happier with the original 2018 version of the FIMI X8 SE than I was with the 2020 version. But hopefully, the 2022 version will be better. And FIMI sent me kind of a similar email when they were advertising that. And at that time, I asked them to send me a review unit, and it's just been crickets. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, I mean, at
So
this late date, this is almost, we'll say it's almost 2022. It'll be 2022 before this drone reaches anybody's hands in the US, anyways. My expectation at this point for a drone is going to cost what this is $450, right? In a
right
ballpark.
around $450. Yeah.
$450. This is 2022. So my expectation it should be at least in the ballpark of the Mini 2. If you're trying to sell me a $450 drone that comes out in 2022 and the video quality is clearly not as good as the Mini 2, then I'm clearly not buying your drone.
I totally agree, and I guess I just didn't see any reason for me to purchase that product at this point. I mean, if we see it and it looks really good and it looks like a good bargain at $450 and it has a fantastic camera,
Right.
potentially, yeah, I could purchase that and do a review of it. But
Right. But of course, to you, the 250-gram Nano is a much
that's
more
it.
interesting product for you at this point, right?
Well, that's it. And the thing is, yeah, I just don't see where that unless FIMI sends me one, and it would just honestly be for the sake of reviewing it because I just don't have a personal need for that drone.
Yeah, it's basically the same size drone as the Mavic 3, but with I don't want to use the word inferior, but probably a camera. Well,
Not
not
as
probably.
advanced.
I haven't even seen it, but I know it's going to be a camera that's way less than what you're getting in the Mavic 3.
Yeah, exactly right, and probably less than you get on the Mavic 2, probably.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
uh, the thing is that here's what I recognize. Let me start over again, Ron. Here's what I
We
recognize.
forgot price point. Of course, to people that are on
Right.
budget, the $450 is much more affordable than a Mavic 3 type drone. So I shouldn't even compare them because they're not even
Yeah,
price wise. They're not even the same
yeah, and that's
conversation. So
just what I
sorry
was
about
going to
that,
say.
folks.
That's just what I was going to say. You and I both recognize the fact that there's a lot of people that buying a $450 drone is a big stretch, and if they can get decent quality out of it, that's awesome. And so, we want to represent on our channels and in our discussions here, what people are going to get so that they can
Right.
make a
And we also
reasonable
know,
decision.
for what's fair to these people is from buying from Femi and Hubson, we've already seen that the DJI can make a good $450 drone with a more than serviceable camera, with a trouble-free interface or whatever. So for Hubson and Femi to try to sell you a drone at that same price point with inferior camera is kind of just not the right thing to do in early 2022.
And we don't want to represent it that way, and so that's why we're interested in that drone.
Yeah.
Because Half Chrome Drones did a really good video that they released earlier today. They were comparing a bunch of the bargain MJX drones, and then the 800-pound gorilla in the room, the DJI Mini SE, and so it's kind of the same thing. Okay, these drones are all around 230 to 250 bucks, but for $299, you can get the DJI Mini SE that is a real high quality, fantastic product. So it makes it tough
Yeah,
to
yeah,
recommend some of those lesser
yeah.
drones.
And the
Yeah,
same in the same vein, I'm not knocking since we haven't seen the FIMI 2022. I'm not knocking the camera
no,
at all. I'm just being holding back my phrase because we were disappointed by Hubson. They promised camera quality. They had promised specs that were above DJI's, but
the
they
FIMI
didn't do
Mini.
it. Yeah, they didn't come close. So it's Phoebe's turn now. I mean, you could promise all the camera specs and quality you want, but as we say, the proof's in the pudding.
Proof's in the pudding.
Show me the video.
The FEMI Mini, either you got a good one or you didn't. I mean, and even if you got a good one, you've got some vignetting in the corners and so forth. That said, it's probably the best camera I've ever seen on a FEMI drone. But it isn't, if you compare it side by side with the equivalent DJI Mini, it's just not even in the same ballpark.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, it's time these companies, the Phoebes and Hubsons and anybody else you want to throw in there, you can't keep producing drones that are in DJI's price range and kind of, you get people to buy them. And then you're still not delivering the same quality, or you even better at this point because you're newer.
And that's what you just described, Ron, is so spot on. That was what was so disappointing about the Xeno Mini Pro. They charged a full price for it. I paid like $579 for mine, and admittedly, I got a 2-battery version and some other things. However, and I got the big amount of memory, the larger memory, 128 gig memory, I guess. But there was nothing about that drone. I would take the Mini SE any day of the week.
Right, in any category, yeah. So
for half the price.
Yeah. Again, and you mentioned the Phoebe Mini. Yeah, I mean, again, you got to pay over $30 to get that. So why would you advise anybody? I know that because some people are going to say, well, they want the advanced feature, they want the tracking, Right. Some people have to have the tracking, but again,
and waypoints. The two things
you need tracking waypoints. You need kind of like, I hate to say bad, but do you want? Let me just say, do you want crappy waypoint and follow me video, or do you want a good clear video and you have to kind of follow along yourself, or
there you go,
orbit yourself? I'm not trying to knock these guys. I hope the camera on the FEMI X8 2022, the best camera they ever made, and right up there with the DJI Mini Series cameras.
I hope so too, and yeah, we wish them luck with that. Yeah.
But of course, they got to get it released. We gave Autel a hard time, but when did we start getting on FEMI? They showed this product maybe 2 months ago now, and
the best FEMI release was the FEMI Mini. It actually came out relatively on time.
Right.
Within, I think, a few weeks of when they said they were going to release it.
But as we know, that actually wasn't good for consumers because most of the bad ones were that early back.
That's true.
Yeah. So it wasn't really a good thing,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yes, I agree, Ron.
All right. Well, I think we kind of talked this into the ground here. Anything else that we forgot to cover or you want to add to this? What was supposed to be a short show?
Yeah, I know. So we're right at an hour. No, I really got to, I think, everything that was worth talking about today, Ron. What I will say is that I want to wish everybody a happy new year and stay safe out there. Call a cab or an Uber if you need it to get home. And if it's inclement weather, try not to drive but have a good time. If you've got good weather, get out there and fly those drones.
Thank you, Marcus. Yeah, I also want to wish everybody, happy New Year, and good cheer and all through this great season here. And the next live show will be back on we said
the 3rd,
January 3rd, and along with hopefully Marcus's new Autel drone, we will announce the winners of the Drone of the Year contest for 2021. Last time I checked, the Air 2S was still holding a commanding lead, but you never know. There could be some mail-in ballots coming in, from the out sectors or whatever, So who knows? We could have a late comeback.
Yeah, from the outlying counties.
Yeah. It's a lot of mail-in ballots out there, and so on. So maybe we can turn this into a horse race. Who knows? And I know Johnny's been tabulating over there on the the Fly for Fun channel and show, and he'll be with us next Monday to help us determine all these results. He's kind of our Karnacki here. I saw Karnacki doing football playoff things last night at halftime. That guy's a busy guy, but
He's the guy to crunch the numbers.
But yeah, we'll be back with a big show next week, and thanks for watching this pre-recorded show. I know I didn't get to shout out all the names in chat or anything. We didn't have any big name guests on, but I hope you enjoyed it.
You're anyway. A big name, Ron.
No, Ron Brown's a pretty short name. You got a longer name than me. Crawford's kind of a at least a mid-length name, right? Yeah. So, all right, folks. Thanks for joining us, and we will. What we say, Marcus, we'll see you the next one.
See you next year.
Yeah. See you next year.